Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Christopher, and Oscar Isaac is returning to Star Wars, or at least he could. He's not right away, but there's one thing that would persuade him to come back to Star Wars. So for me, this is really exciting because with Finn, he did get shafted a little bit with the sequel trilogy. He got kicked to the sidelines. I feel like Poe was a great character in the sequel trilogy, but he could have been better as well. So to see Poe come back, that would be amazing. So this article I read comes from the Direct here. So let's take a look at this article. So Oscar Isaac says he would return to Star Wars on one condition. And I think there's a really good way he could return, and I'll get into that in a little bit. But the article goes on and says the Poe Dameron star has one request for a potential Star Wars comeback. So Oscar Isaac has laid it all on the line, revealing the one condition that must be met for him to return. Isaac played the high-flying X-Wing pilot Poe Dameron in the Star Wars sequel trilogy, but like many of his fellow classmates, his future within the franchise remains a massive question mark, despite no future, at least public, which is interesting that they say that because maybe he's attached to a certain project that could be coming out in the next couple years and he's not saying anything. Who knows? We'll get into that in a little bit. But despite no future, at least public, plans to reprise his sequel trilogy role, Isaac recently addressed what it would take to make his Star Wars return a reality. It has been confirmed that Isaac's Star Wars co-star Daisy Ridley will come back for at least one movie set within the beloved Star Wars or beloved sci-fi canon, but Isaac's name has eluded the call sheet to this point, or again, at least in the public, we have no knowledge of this. So, speaking in a new profile by Variety, the Poe Dameron actor, posited what he would be more than willing to come back, quote, if there was something good to do. He said, quote, yeah, I'd be in Star Wars again if there was something good to do with that. So this line with Isaac's overall strategy in deciding what projects to pursue, he says, quote, it's just about, is there something in a film that I love enough when that alarm goes off in the morning, I'm ready. The former Star Wars star explained, quote, it's about, is there something in that film that I love enough that when that alarm goes off in the morning, I'm ready and wanting to go to work. Is there enough to pull me in across the finish line? So I like that attitude, and so far I don't know if there is something that could get Poe back, but I think there's a project that would be perfect for him to appear if he's not already attached to this project. And again, I'll jump into that in a little bit. Isaac's last appearance in the Star Wars franchise was in 2019's Star Wars Episode 9 The Rise of Skywalker, and no future projects featuring his Poe Dameron have been announced. Isaac can be next seen in Netflix's upcoming Frankenstein film from the acclaimed director of Pan's Labyrinth and The Shape of Water, Guillermo del Toro. Frankenstein stars Isaac as his titular mad scientist, along with Euphoria star Jacob Elordi. Will Oscar Isaac ever come back to Star Wars? So Oscar Isaac has commented on the idea of making his Star Wars return several times over the years, and his comments all come back to one thing: making sure it's the right story. So in 2022, Isaac was asked a similar question where he said, quote, he's open to it, as long as it's a great story with a great director. And again, I think has this there's a possibility with an upcoming project here. So the actor seems to harbor no ill will towards Star Wars. It is just a matter of the perfect pitch coming his way for him to consider hopping back in the saddle. This, of course, comes from as Fellow sequel trilogy star Daisy Ridley is getting ready to make her own grand return to the galaxy far, far away in the currently in development new Jedi Order movie, and then as well as the Simon Kinberg trilogy. She's supposed to be coming back in that. Many assumed Isaac had a good chance of appearing in that film, but the actor says he wouldn't, at least as of May 2025. So it seems fans will have to keep waiting for more of Isaac's Poe Dameron in the Star Wars universe. Now, there is a project coming out in 2027. Perhaps you've heard of it, Sean Levy's Star Wars Starfighter, which is going to be featuring Ryan Gosling protecting his nephew from a couple of antagonists. And from the title Starfighter, I would assume that it has something to do with pilots, perhaps X-Wing pilots. Perhaps Ryan Gosling's character is an X-Wing pilot, and this would be a perfect way for Oscar Isaac to come back to Star Wars. I feel like Sean Levy is that guy to create that perfect script, that great script. He's that great director who could create that great script that could appeal to Oscar Isaac. Again, as far as we know, he's not attached to this movie, and he could just be saying he's not attached to anything right now just to kind of throw us off, which, like, it wouldn't be the first time for an actor to lie about being in Star Wars or any movie for that matter. So I think Star Wars Starfighter, it's possible. It could be the return of Poe Dameron. So we'll have to wait and see, of course, for another 2 years, or a little less than 2 years anyways. It comes out on May 28th, 2027. But I feel like that's the perfect way for Poe to make another entrance. If in a movie called Starfighter, revolving around starfighters, starfighter pilots, perhaps X-wing pilots even, and like I said, I think Sean Levy is that great director, like Oscar Isaac was quoted saying, as long as there's a great story with a great director. I think Sean Levy could be that great director making that great story. So we'll have to see, but let me know what your thoughts are on this Oscar Isaac story, with Oscar Isaac potentially coming back to Star Wars under that one condition. Let me know what you think of this news down in the comments, and then click over here to check out my other Star Wars videos.